على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. The Prophet ﷺ gave the example of those people who abide by the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and those who do not abide by them. Like a group of people that had drawn their names. Their names were put into like a basket and they drew their names. And it was by the draw that it was decided who goes on the upper deck of this ship and who goes on the lower deck. So you have a whole bunch of people, they all want a place on this ship, but not everyone can be on the upper deck. So they said, we'll draw some names. So by virtue of this draw, some people ended up on the upper deck and some people ended up on the lower deck. Now, the supply of water on this ship is upstairs. It's on the upper deck. So whoever wants water, they have to go upstairs, and that's where the tanks are. They'll fill up the water and bring it downstairs and use it at the lower deck. At some point, they started feeling awkward that we have to keep going and disturbing these people. It's causing, we are becoming a source of inconvenience and nuisance for these people, so we need to find another way. So some people said, well, we're floating on water, so why don't we just make a little hole in our deck, and then we don't have to keep going upstairs. So they have this bright idea. Now they're thinking of drilling a little hole in their deck. Now everyone knows what's going to happen the moment they drill that hole. The Prophet ﷺ tells us that if the people on the upper deck stop them, then everyone on the ship is saved. And if the people on the upper deck do not stop them, then everyone on the ship drowns. So whose responsibility is it to make sure that no one drills a hole in that ship? It's in fact everyone's responsibility. But some people will be more in tune with their responsibility and some people won't. And in this case, the people on the lower deck, they're not evil people, they're not bad people. Their goal it's just to have water. But they want to have water without considering the damage that their approach is going to cause to everyone, to all the passengers. They're not able to think that far. They're able to be considerate enough so that they don't want to disturb the people upstairs. But they don't have that vision that will allow them to see the outcome of what this is actually going to lead to. And in every circle, in every group, there will be people like this. They're not necessarily evil people. They don't intend harm either. Not for themselves, not for anyone else. They're just looking to fulfill an immediate need of theirs, but they're also not able to see the outcomes. They're not able to see the consequences of their acts. Whenever that happens, it's the responsibility of the level-headed people to step in and say, look, we understand your need. We all need water. You also need water. But you know what? We don't mind if you come upstairs. It's really not disturbing us. And besides, we'd rather be disturbed a little bit than all just drown. This will only happen when the people on the upper deck are keeping an eye on things. If they are so lost in enjoying that upper deck that they never think of what's happening downstairs, they never go and interact with those people, they never see what is what direction are people going in, then that little bit of carelessness on their behalf would be a source of destruction for everyone. And if they go and they connect with them and they help them out, they show that they're ready to help them and look after them, everyone's problem is solved. So all the people in a group they're the same. And the hadith tells us that it was by virtue of the draw that certain people ended up on the upper deck. Which means it's not because of some kind of entitlement. Sometimes someone is abiding by the rules and the laws, and sometimes somebody, in the case of deen, somebody is obedient. it doesn't mean that they can take all the credit themselves. Sometimes we're obedient just because our parents raised us that way. Sometimes we're obedient because our parents kept us away from bad elements. Sometimes we're obedient because we happen to have good friends. We can't take the credit for everything. So similarly, the people that are on the upper deck today can't take the credit that, oh, we're the people of the upper deck. No, it's not all they're doing. So the people that are doing good should not take it for granted that they're doing good and then forget about everyone else. And the people that are going in the wrong direction or looking to have a quick fix to their problems, whether they need, and sometimes a problem could be as simple as being bored. You're being bored to death, you need to do something, so you get up and do something, but you don't realize what this amusement is going to end up costing you and costing other people. And sometimes the problem was just, I was bored. Sometimes someone was annoyed, and they just wanted to remove a nuisance, but the way they went about it, it resulted in something bad. Etc., etc. There's so many examples. We need to be thinking of outcomes. What effect, what impact is this going to have on the whole group, on the well-being of the whole group? And a person who can start thinking on those grounds becomes a very responsible person in any setting. They'll become a responsible citizen of their country. They'll become a responsible student of their school. They'll be a responsible member of society. They will always be thinking of what negative impact could this have on the people around me, and then they will act responsibly. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us also the ability to act responsibly and also be on the lookout for those actions that could end up hurting everyone. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make every single one of us a means of stopping those things before they happen, a means of stopping bad acts before they take place, a means of stopping irresponsible behavior before it costs everyone. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. Wa sallallahu wa sallama wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad